You're performing tonight for the first time publicly singing the chorus to Mr. Tanner. What are you feeling right now, Martin?
Mike, it's really fabulous. The experience is just beautiful. It was we just went the run through, and to hear the actual live performance by the members of the band, it just is everything you dream about in terms of hearing it. The way they weave that song, the way they tell it, just brings back all the meaning of what it was all about, and it's so special. Very beautiful song, and I didn't want to be a part of it the way it happened originally, but now that I am, it's an incredible experience to be here.
We're backstage live at the Quick Center at Fairfield University in Fairfield, Connecticut, just 2 hours away from the Harry Chapin Celebration and Song Concert. Thank you, Martin Tubridy, and also with us, Jono Chapin, Harry and Sandy's oldest son. Jono, you're down from Vermont, and what's it like to be here for this event?
It's a great celebration. I think of the effort of so many people to have this come together, and I think you were asking earlier about 35 years, and so I was a board member earlier, but being in Vermont makes it a little bit more challenging. But I think that the work is still needed, is a little bit hard to sometimes feel that we're making progress, but I think that my understanding of hunger and poverty issues is that it's not so much just about food shelves as much as it is about education, about really creating more of a dialogue of what's going on and how to look at these root issues and come up with ways that the solutions will be enduring.
Yeah, we're speaking with Jono Chapin, the oldest son of Sandy and Harry Chapin. And Jono, I mean, what was he like growing up with Harry? I heard he was kind of a whirlwind as a dad, was he?
Yeah, I think that's almost an understatement. But for me, it was a chance that we had such a mix, everything from just playing touch football, going out to Andover, sort of the extended family's gathering place, and having opportunities to really travel around the world, and concerts were a big part of that. So, at the same time, there were long periods when he was gone. But I think when Harry was around, it was full on.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. What do you miss most about him, Jono?
Boy. I think it's sort of a sense of a can-do approach to whatever it was that was going on. I can remember probably in those formative years of building a treehouse, and going to the lumberyard and devising the stairs that were going to get to the treehouse, and so that sense of possibility of you can think it up, you can start to put a plan out in place, and that happened even earlier on when each of the kids, we all had some sort of interest in a project that we got a chance to work on. So I think as a dad and as a mother and father kind of working together to create this sense of family, was a really powerful upbringing.
And he came through some very difficult times. I mean, I remember, he and Bill Ayers established that Presidential Commission on World Hunger that your mom had suggested and helped to foster. And yet in 1980, when the elections happened and, there was a big change in the administration, they were kind of set back, but he didn't give up, did he?
No, I think that's what you got to understand, that there's always the tides. We're dealing with a tide now that's set in motion, and swimming against it for the next 4 years. And the way that you have to confront those things is that the work is there. You've got to sort of see the light at the end of the tunnel and keep pushing, because it does matter. And there's a saying, I think, within the family that there's trying to sort of see if I can paraphrase it. There's good tired and there's bad tired. And good tired, or we'll start with bad tired. Bad tired is going to work, not really believing in what you're doing, and getting up the next day and not being too enthusiastic about doing it again. Good tired is you fought the good fight. You worked as hard as you could. You might not have won, but you're willing to get up the next day and go back at it because it's so meaningful, and you're just charged up with, the full energy that it's going to take to tackle that, another day and the day after that.
We're live at the Quick Center, Fairfield University, the site of tonight's concert, Harry Chapin's Celebration of Song. We're speaking with Jono Chapin, also Martin Tubridy. And Martin, you guys had your rehearsal this afternoon, and it's just a matter of minutes away. And butterflies or not?
Absolutely fine right now.
Well, it's...
Thank you, Mike, for asking. That was very thoughtful of you.
Well, we just want people at home to wonder. Everybody's wondering, what does it feel like? It's just, you mentioned previously in an interview, it's been so surreal to be doing this.
That is essentially the best word to describe it. The way it all happened, and as I mentioned previously, I was totally unaware of this, but here, 40 years later, or some odd 40 years, it's just a really unusual experience to be here at the Quick Center and to be actually performing the song with the band. It really is, as I mentioned before, it's an incredibly beautiful song and just a wonderful opportunity.
Mike, I got to jump in here. I think this is really emblematic of what song really was in the beginning. It's about stories, and even though you can take poetic license, here's the man that this story came about. And we're able to come all together with your efforts and other members on the board and celebrate, Harry's contributions over the years and the continuing work, and to see how we get a chance to hear Mr. Tanner the way, Harry had it come to him and then all come to a song. I think that is really probably about as good as it gets. Pop songs these days, we could probably all write them. And that's not really the deeper level. Maybe I'm getting a little too heavy here, but it's just nice to know that we can, and I'm looking forward to it, because to me, that's what makes these events so special.
And that song is so timeless, isn't it? I mean, Sandy, Mr. Tanner, you think about it, I mean, it was released on Harry's Short Stories album, which I think came out in 1974, and here we are more than 40 years later, and fans just can't get enough of hearing that song. It resonates on so many levels, whether you're a singer or not, right?
That was the second album, I guess, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Right after Taxi. Yeah.
Yeah. Why is it that song has so much meaning to so many people, you think?
Did you know that a publisher of children's stories approached us about doing a children's book based on Mr. Tanner?
Yeah.
And he said he was interested in doing this story because of the happy ending. And when I heard about this at the office, I thought, well, I don't think it was a happy ending, but I don't want to rain on his parade, if that's the way he sees the story. But then, of course, his happy ending is that you're singing because it makes you happy. It's not the audience that makes the difference.
And to chime in again, he sang from his heart, he sang from his soul. I mean, isn't that what we all should be trying to do? And yet somehow we might get cut down at the knees because of, Flowers Are Red, another song that kind of speaks to that whole core of letting, a child really sort of blossom into what they can be, but being told, no, you need to fit into this little box over here. So Martin's got the full tenor to bring to it.
Well, go ahead, were you going to say something, Martin?
You mentioned part of the song, but I think one of the most beautiful lines is right in line with what you had just said. It just makes him whole. And the music made him whole. The music is what was most important for him, and it gave meaning to his life. And that's in line with what you were saying, John, is that that's what we should all be doing, is making the best for our lives in whatever way we possibly can be doing that.
That's great. Well, thank you so much, Martin Tubridy, Jono Chapin, and Sandy Chapin. We're live from the Quick Center, Fairfield University. There's still a few tickets left, so if you're in the Connecticut area, come to Fairfield University, come to the Quick Center quickly, get those last few tickets. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to see Mr. Martin Tubridy perform Mr. Tanner live. Thanks, guys. Thanks so much. Enjoy the show.
Thank you, Mike. Thanks to Corey and so many other people that have helped this night come together.
Bye now.